Well, welcome back, everybody, to the Hilltop. Continuing action in the 2025 edition of the Harris Memorial Hospital Classic. Today will be our fourth and final game of the day as the Thoroughbreds will take on Madison Central. Earlier today, well, let's start like last night. Last night, Harrison County beat Franklin County 8-6, while Madison Central beat Walton Verona 11-3. Then early this morning, Harrison County got past Walton Verona 5-3. Franklin County then defeated Walton Verona themselves 11-6, and the game just concluded. Madison Central was all over Franklin County, winning that game 16-1 in 3 innings. Starting things off here in the top of the first will be Nick I knew I was going to mess that up. Petramonico, Beckett Parker Noblet, and Sam Coleman against the pitching today of Cooper Slade, who's on the mound for Harrison County. First pitch is going to be taken at the knees for strike one. Pietramonaco on the year batting a team-high 371, has a double and 7 RBIs, leads the team in hits with 23. Next delivery to him from Slade is a bouncer back to the mound on a hop. Cooper has it, throws it over to first for the first out. 1 up and 1 down for Beckett Parker Noblet. Parker Noblet on the year batting 365, has 3 doubles and 5 RBIs. Madison Central, the 14th ranked team in the state. Harrison County 20-2, not ranked at least yet. The wind by Slade, and the next pitch is sent into center field right in front of Jay Sean Lewis. So a single to left by Beckett Parker Noblet gets things going for his team here in this inning. That will bring Sam Coleman to the plate. So Sam Coleman is actually number 7. Coleman stands in over at first base. Russ Persinger holding Parker Noblet on. And the pitch is tipped foul into the mitt of Brian Vaughn, who gets the start behind the plate. Slade pitching for the first time since last Saturday when he pitched against Breathitt County here on the Hilltop. Take a look at all his numbers here after this next pitch. A check of the runner, and now a throw over there, not in time. Making his 6th appearance. This will be his 5th start. He's thrown 23 innings this year, giving up 21 hits and 7 walks while striking out 15. He's given up 8 runs, only 2 of which have been earned. Has a 5-0 record and a 0.61 earned run average, a 1.22 ratio. Next pitch to Coleman is going to be sent down the right field line and drop in there fair by about a foot. Parker Noblet gets to second. He had to kind of hold up to make sure that Persinger didn't catch up with it. So just a little looper down the left field line. Looper left line. Cannon Cook will come to the plate now. Cook on the season, and find him here, is batting .316, leads the team in doubles with 5, has a home run and 9 RBIs. Is Madison Central threatening here in the top of the first. First pitch to Cook is swung on and miss for strike 1. Defensively, besides Brian Vaughn behind the plate, Russ Persinger at first. Simon Jenkins is at second with Blake Green at third and Ian Hopkins at short. Next pitch is going to drop in there for strike 2. In the outfield, left to right, Sean Vaughn, Jay Sean Lewis, and Donovan Walker, all backing up Slade's pitching. On second base, Beckett Parker Noblet takes his lead, as does Coleman at first. A look back at second, and the pitch is going to be just barely outside for a ball. Brian Vaughn getting the start behind the plate, what with Keen Price getting injured in the opening game for Harrison County earlier this morning, and just thought maybe better to give him a day as a rest. Thoroughbreds will be back in action on Monday, as we'll be here at home against Mason County. Now on your schedule it says that game is in Maysville, but they're rehabbing their entire baseball complex, and it's not done yet. So the Royals will be coming to the Hilltop on Monday. That start time is going to be 5:15. Next pitch is sent down the line and left, and Sean Vaughn catches it. What a great play by Sean Vaughn, as he had to run a very, very long way to catch up with that ball right at the edge of the fence, but is able to bring it in for out number 2. Put a big old gold star by that play. So a 2 on and 2 out. Aiden Masters to the plate. Masters on the season, batting .316, has a double and 7 RBIs. Number 11 looks at his wrist to get the sign. Now steps in with Parker Noblet taking his lead at second base. Slade takes a look back at him. Now a throw to first, but diving back into the bag in time was Coleman as Russ Persinger was sneaking in behind him. Kind of a different lineup for Harrison County today, with the pieces being rearranged a bit. Look back at second by Slade. And the pitch is going to be a fly ball into right center field. This could be a problem. It drops in there for a base hit. Rounding third and heading for a home. Here comes Parker Noblet. He'll get in there as the throw goes to third. And on the throw to third, down to second base will go Masters as Madison Central takes a 1-0 lead here in the top of the first. Give the RBI to Masters on that single to right center and moves to second base on the throw. At the plate, Will Richardson. Richardson, the right fielder, batting .375. All these guys can hit. It's 3 runs scored and 3 RBIs. Squares to bunt, but brings the bat back when he sees the pitch go outside for ball 1. Bread's 20-2. Madison Central 14-6. Indians have a big game on Monday as they'll take the road trip to Louisville to take on one of the top-ranked teams in the state, St. X. St. X in the most recent poll ranked number 4. 1-1 the count to Richardson. Runners on second and third. And the pitch is a bouncer to the left side, bobbled by the shortstop Hopkins, and all hands will be safe. Coming home to score on the error will be Coleman as Madison Central takes a 2-0 lead. Also on the play, Masters moves over to third. So those little things that'll hurt you. Cannon Spivey at the plate. Spivey, the center fielder. See where Spivey's at. Here he is, batting .224, but has a double and 7 RBIs. A look over to first base, and the pitch is going to be a bit high. Now down to second, and in there safely with the steal will be Richardson, putting runners on second and third. A ball and no strikes the count to Spivey, as the Indians very aggressive offensively. Already up now 2-0 and threatening to score a couple of more. Pitch is going to be at the letters for a strike, evening up the count at 1-1. This is the 16th meeting between these two schools. Madison Central holds the edge 9-6. The last time we played these guys was a couple of years ago. Here's a throw back to second, not in time. As in that game 2 years ago, Madison Central won here on the Hilltop 14-7 in the Harrison Memorial Hospital Invitational that season. Wheeling the bat around is Spivey. Slade's next pitch is going to bounce up there. Nice stop by Brian Vaughn as the count goes to 2-1. Sun coming back out from behind the clouds. Wind loftily blowing out towards left center should not have an effect on the ball in the air. Here's a fly ball into left center. Camping under it is Lewis, and he'll bring it in for out number 3. But the Indians come up with a couple of runs. They did it by way of 3 base hits. There was 1 Harrison County error, and 2 men were left on base. So as we head to the bottom of the first, your score, Madison Central 2, and Harrison County coming to bat You're listening to Thoroughbred Baseball on WCYN Sports.
Congratulations. You're officially an agent.
Sweet. I get one of those cool agent names, right? Like Viper or Shadow?
Well, Wayne, we're thinking you go by Wayne?
Oh, yeah. Wayne's fine, too.
With Kentucky Farm Bureau Insurance, there's an agent in every county who's involved in the community, which means you'll know your agent by name. In this case, Wayne.
I got it. What about 006?
Kentucky Farm Bureau Insurance. Big on commitment.
Dreaming of the perfect home? Whether you're buying, selling, or just exploring your options, Palmer Hampton Realty is here to guide you every step of the way. Located in the heart of Cynthiana, we know this community like no one else. From charming historic homes to modern dream properties, we'll find the perfect fit for you. Call Trish Jenkins today at 859-588-5590 and let's make your real estate dreams a reality.
Since 1956, your local hometown station and the home of the Brads and Phillies. WCYN, 1400 AM and 101.3 FM.
All righty, back here at the Hilltop Baseball Field. Continuing action in the Harris Memorial Hospital Classic. Let's take a look at Harrison County's batting order as they're down by 2. Leading off will be the designated hitter, Reynolds. He'll be batting for the second baseman, Jenkins. That'll be followed by Blake Green, who will be at third. Batting cleanup will be Jay Sean Lewis out in center field. The catcher will be Brian Vaughn. Batting fifth, Donovan Walker, the right fielder. He'll be followed by the left fielder, Sean Vaughn. Batting in the 7th spot, the pitcher, Cooper Slade. He'll be followed by Russ Persinger, who's over at first. And rounding out the batting order for the Brads today will be Ian Hopkins, who's at short. So once again for Harrison, Reynolds, Green, Lewis, Brian Vaughn, Walker, Sean Vaughn, Slade, Russ Persinger, and Hopkins. We'll give you the defense for Madison Central after this first delivery to the plate to Reynolds by the pitcher, Luke Gilliam. First pitch is taken for a strike. Behind the plate, Nick Pietromonico. Over at first base is Cannon Cook with Braxton Hicks at second base. Aiden Masters is the third baseman with Sam Coleman at short. So next pitch is down low for ball 1. In left field is Beckett Parker Noblet. The center fielder is Cannon Spivey. And over in right field is Will Richardson. Look at Reynolds' numbers after this pitch, which is taken outside for ball 2. Reynolds on the season, batting .250, has a double, 10 RBIs, and 11 runs scored. Reynolds has also reached base in 7 consecutive games. Here's a bunt attempt, but bunted foul for a strike 2. It's turned into a great day for baseball here on the Hilltop. As we said, Monday we'll host Mason County. On Tuesday, weather permitting, we'll take our road show to Bishop Brossart. On Thursday, we'll head to Carlisle to take on Nicholas County as the next pitch is up high for ball 3 to load up the count at 3-2. And then next Friday, we'll return home to take on Bourbon County. So a busy, busy week ahead, weather permitting, for the Brads. The wind and the payoff is up high, ball 4. So a nice job by Boston Reynolds to work a walk, leading things off here in the bottom of the first inning. That'll bring Blake Green to the plate. Let's see, Green on the day. Green batting .302, has 4 doubles, a homer, and 9 RBIs. Leads the team in runs scored with 28. Also, best on the team in stolen bases with 17. Over at first base, Reynolds being held on by Cook. First pitch is taken at the knees for strike 1. Ought to be aggressive against teams like Madison Central when you're at the plate. Outfield playing Green fairly deep. So a chance to maybe dump one in to left center. So throw to first base is not in time. Green has also reached base in 7 straight games. Waggles the bat over top of his right shoulder. Of course, the Brads have now won 8 in a row. So the next pitch is taken for a strike. 0-2 now the count to the Brads' third baseman. Charging hard on that play was the third baseman for Madison Central, Aiden Masters. Luke Gilliam making his 5th appearance, his 5th start. He's thrown 13 2/3 innings, giving up 14 hits and 4 walks while striking out 26. So the next pitch is outside for a ball. He's given up 7 runs, all of which have been earned. Has a record of 2-1 and an ERA of 3.59. We were kind of expecting Logan Cobb, the senior ace, but they may be holding him back for St. X on Monday. Check of the runner at first base by Gilliam. And the pitch is a liner past the glove of the shortstop, Sam Coleman, into left field for a base hit. So the first 2 thoroughbreds reach here in the bottom of the first inning. Now bring Jay-Sean Lewis to the plate. Jay-Sean in his customary center field position. Lewis on the season batting a solid .356. Tied to the team high in doubles with 2. Leads the team in triples with 2. And home runs with 4. Actually, he has 5 doubles. First delivery to him is fouled out of play behind us for strike 1. Lewis on the season batting a very solid .471 with runners in scoring position. We'll try to get somebody home with a base hit here. Left-hander stands in as the pitcher Gilliam gets the sign from his catcher Pietromonico. And the pitch is going to be a pop fly into left field. Chasing after it is Beckett Parker Noblet, and he cannot make the play up against the fence. Rounding third and heading for a home. Here comes Reynolds. He'll score as Harrison County cuts the deficit in half on the long fly ball that ends up being a single for Jay-Sean Lewis. So give Lewis an RBI on the play. They'll bring Brian Vaughn to the plate. Brian behind the plate for today's game. Infield moves not quite in, but even with the bags, with those runners on first and second and nobody out. And Gilliam fakes the throw back to second. Brian Vaughn on the season, to go ahead and give you his numbers, batting a team-high .436. Also tied to the team lead in doubles with 5. Has 4 home runs, which is tied to the team lead, and a team-leading 21 RBIs. Next pitch is going to be outside. 1-0 the count to Brian Vaughn. Brian on the year batting .524 with runners in scoring position. That's best on the team. So if you want to have a guy up who can get some runs in, Brian Vaughn is your man. A look at the runners by Gilliam. Look back to second again, and the pitch is going to be down low. Squirts away from the catcher, Pietromonico, and now they are going to possibly have Lewis stuck in a rundown, and they're still chasing after him. The ball is dropped. Coming home will be a run, and sliding in safely is Lewis at second base. Good job on the rundown that time. It's something that usually doesn't happen. Usually it's pass once, pass twice, and somebody's tagged out. But Lewis just kept working at it and eventually gets to second base as the first baseman, Cannon Cook, dropped the ball and then made a bad throw to the shortstop covering second, allowing Lewis to slide on in. So as it ends up, it will be recorded as a double steal. Harrison County tied 2-2 now, with a runner still at second and Brian Vaughn still at the plate. Next pitch is taken for a strike. This count goes to 2-1. Gilliam taking a look back at the second baseman as he delivers the signs from over there. Very, very deep in left is Parker Noblet. And the pitch to the plate is going to be fouled out of play behind us. Evens up the count at 2-2. Still nobody out here in the bottom of the first. Harrison County duplicating the effort of Madison Central with a couple of runs here in the bottom of the first after the Indians had scored 2 in the top. Next pitch is going to be a little bit high as the count goes full at 3-2. See here. Wheeling the bat around is the Bread's catcher. Down at second base, Lewis takes his lead. And the pitch is going to be swung on and missed for strike 3. So the first out of the inning is recorded, and Donovan Walker will come to the plate. Walker out in his customary right field defensive position.
Now batting number 22, Donovan Walker.
Walker batting .345 on the year, has 3 doubles, a triple, a home run, 17 RBIs, and a team-leading 13 walks. Levels the bat for Gilliam. Look back at second. And the pitch is going to be low and inside for ball 1. Walker on the season batting .421 with runners in scoring position. Now the signs being flashed by the shortstop, Sam Coleman, to the mound. Some additional information coming from Pietro Monaco. And the pitch is going to be low and inside as the count goes to 2 balls and no strikes. Bread's 20-2. Madison Central 14-6 coming in. Outfield playing Walker straight away. And with the wind gusting out towards left center, trying to make him pull the ball. Next pitch is swung on and missed as the count goes to 2-1. Long look down to his third base coach, Terry Smith, before Walker steps back into the batter's box. Gilliam gets the sign from Pietro Monaco. And the pitch is way inside. That one had Walker dancing out of the way of it as the count goes to 3-1. Phillies winning earlier today over Corbin, 12 to nothing in 5. They'll play against Assumption, or are playing against second-ranked Assumption as we speak. You can catch all the action of that game on our app, WCYN2. 3-1 pitch is a bouncer to the right side, and it's off the glove of the second baseman Hicks. Rounding third and heading for a home. Here comes Lewis, and on the air by the second baseman, Harrison County has captured a 3-2 lead here in the bottom of the first. Instead of charging the ball, the second baseman Hicks decided to let the ball play him instead, and he had to pay for it.
Batting number 15, Sean Vaughn.
They'll bring Sean Vaughn to the plate. Runner on first, and now a visit to the mound by the head coach at Madison Central, longtime head coach Steve Roof, who's been at Madison Central for over 20 years, having a long talk with his infield and battery, as they just are not the same team we saw in the previous game where they beat a good, or at least a pretty good, Franklin County squad 16-1 in 3 innings. Sean Vaughn at the plate. Sean on the season batting a solid .348. Couple of doubles. He's gotten 5 RBIs and 9 runs scored. Over at first base, Walker being held on by Cook. And the pitch is going to be a little bit low for ball 1. Still just 1 out in the inning. Sean Vaughn wheels the bat around. And the pitch is going to be taken on the outside part of the plate for strike 1. About a 2.5 step lead at first base by Walker. Gilliam's next pitch is way outside. Nice stop by Pietro Monaco to keep the ball in front of him as the count goes to 2-1. Sean Vaughn's already made 1 fantastic catch out in left field. Defense and pitching, that's the hallmark cards of this year's Harrison County team. Here goes the runner. The pitch is outside. The throw by Pietro Monaco is down to second base, but not in time. So a good steal that time by Walker for Donovan. That is his 10th stolen base of the season. That is third best on the team and also puts him into scoring position down at second base with a count of 3-1. Sean Vaughn waiting for the next pitch. Big deep breath by Gilliam, and the pitch is going to be on the outside corner for strike 2, and that'll load up the count at 3 balls and 2 strikes. Sean Vaughn wears the number 15 on the back of his jersey. A base hit into a gap will almost for sure score Walker from second. Harrison County already leading 3-2 here in the bottom of the first. And the payoff pitch is hit high and hard to left field. Parker Noblet at the base of the bank is able to pull it in for out number 2. So Sean Vaughn gave the ball a ride, but the ballpark held it. And that was with the aid of the wind gusting out towards left field. Coming to the plate now, Harrison County's pitcher, Cooper Slade.
Now batting number 16, Cooper Slade.
Slade on the season batting .208. Couple of doubles, a triple. He's driven in 11. Now stands in there once again. This pitch is going to be ticking up high for ball 1. Slade, the main beneficiary of these 3 runs in the bottom of the first. As he is currently the pitcher of record for the Thoroughbreds. Wandering away from the second base bag is Walker. And the 1-0 to Slade is at the knees for a strike. This count goes even at 1-1. There are 2 outs in the inning. Reds taking advantage of an error by the Madison Central defense to score the tie-breaking run. After a steal of home by Green and a base hit by Lewis drove in the other 2. Next pitch is 2 outside. Count goes to 2-1. Wind really gusting. Luckily, the temperature very mild, probably in the mid-70s. Big crowds at both here, Shirley Field, and the track as well. So they were hosting their invitational track meet. Next pitch to Slade is at the knees for a strike, evening up the count at 2-2. So lots of activity here on the hilltop, and here in about 45 minutes, the Starry Night is coming to the high school auditorium where all the talented people in Harrison County school system will be showing what they can do. Here's a bouncer foul to the left side. Count remains even at 2-2 with 2 outs. Here in the bottom of the first inning in our 6th and final game of this year's Harrison Memorial Hospital Classic. Trying to keep the runner close at second base is the second baseman Hicks. And the next pitch is way high. That'll load up the count at 3-2. If nothing else, we're making Gilliam work on his pitch count. He's had 6, 10, 12, 18, 23, 31. This will be pitch number 38. 38 in the first inning alone for Gilliam. And he ain't done yet. Here's a pop-up foul and out of play as Slade wants to make him show his full repertoire of pitches, while also trying to find a gap somewhere to get Walker home from second. Brad's taking on the 14th ranked team in the state. Next pitch is swung on and missed. Ball gets away from the catcher, Pietramonico, who has to throw down to first base to complete the strikeout, which he does. But the Braves come up with 3 runs in the inning. They did it courtesy of a couple of base hits. There was 1 error committed by the defense for Madison Central, and 1 man left aboard. So as we head now to the top of the second, your score, Harrison County 3 and Madison Central 2. You're listening to Thoroughbred Baseball on WCYN Sports.
At Farm Credit Mid-America, we're here to make rural dreams a reality. Whether it's financing your farm, expanding your agribusiness, or building your country homes, we've been proudly supporting farmers and rural families for over a century. As a customer-owned cooperative, we don't just offer loans and insurance, we invest in your success. Call Michael Furnish at 859-254-2741 or visit fcma.com today. Farm Credit Mid-America, financing rural America's dreams.
Kentucky Farm Bureau agents wear a lot of hats. They're coaches, volunteers, church members, neighbors, someone who's there when you need them, especially when you need them most. That may be a lot of hats, but they're all the perfect fit. Kentucky Farm Bureau, big on commitment.
Alrighty, back here on the hilltop. 3-2 your score. Harrison County up on top of Madison Central. Here in the second inning for the Indians, it'll be the 8, 9, and 1 batters. Landon Ward, Braxton Hicks, and then back to the top of the order, and Nick Pietramonico. Reds looking for their 21st win of the season if they can come out on top against just 2 losses. But a tough week ahead as we'll host the reigning 10th region champion Mason County Royals on Monday. Take to Alexandria to take on the always tough Bourbon County, make that Bishop Brossart Mustangs. Then on Thursday, we'll take a trip to Carlisle to take on Nicholas County before finishing out the week against Bourbon here at home. First delivery to the plate to Ward. The DH is taken for ball 1. He's batting for the pitcher, Luke Gilliam. Landon Ward on the season, batting .385. Couple of doubles as well as the next pitch is swung through and missed for strike 1. Long look into his catcher, Brian Vaughn, and the pitch, the plate is going to be up high for ball 2. By comparison, Cooper Slade threw 17 pitches in the first inning, while his counterpart, Luke Gilliam, threw 37 as the next pitch is fouled off the press box. Count goes even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Getting the sign is Ward before stepping back into the batter's box. And the pitch is going to be slapped to the left side, gloved by the shortstop. Hopkins is thrown to first in time to just barely nip Ward. So really nice play that time by the 8th grader Hopkins for out number 1. That'll bring Braxton Hicks to the plate. Hicks playing over at second base. You almost feel like he'll be an obstetrician someday. The name like Braxton Hicks, what else could he be? Next pitch is up high for ball 1. See Hicks's numbers on the year, batting .250. Couple of doubles and 7 RBIs. Next pitch is going to sail high for ball 2. Reds up 3-2 here in the top of the second over Madison Central. Slade gets the sign, winds and fires the next delivery, which is going to be outside for ball 3. 1 out, nobody on for Madison Central. After Hicks gets done batting, we'll head back to the top of the order. Slade's next pitch is taken all the way. It finds its way across the middle for strike 1. 3-1, the count to number 25. Right now, the Indians on a 4-game win streak. Here's a fly ball into center field. Can of corn for Jay Sean for out number 2. That'll take us back to the top of the order and Nick Pietramonico.
Number 16, Nick Pietramonico.
Grounded out to the mound his first time up. And now up at the plate with the bases empty once again. Over at third base, Green a couple of steps in on the infield grass. As the first pitch to Pietromonico is a fly ball foul and out of play behind the first base dugout for strike one. Cynthia Hardee's wants you to visit them for breakfast, lunch, or dinner on US 27 South. They've got the best burgers in town. That's at Hardee's in Cynthiana. Outfield playing Pietromonico to pull the ball. The wind and the next delivery is going to be down low for ball one. 1-1 the count to Pietromonico. Number 16, the catcher, stands back in. And the pitch from Slade is slapped foul to the right side and out of play. So Pietromonico in the hole, 1-2. Steps back in the batter's box as Slade gets the sign. Now steps off the back of the rubber. She said the Phillies winning earlier today over Corbin, 12-0 in 5. Here's a bouncer back to the mound, deflected by Slade. Here's the throw to first in time by Ian Hopkins to get the runner Pietromonico. So two fantastic defensive plays by Hopkins here in the inning as the Indians are retired in order. As we head now to the bottom half of the second, your score remains Harrison County 3 and Madison Central 2. You're listening to Thoroughbred Baseball on WCYN Sports.
Dreaming of the perfect home? Whether you're buying, selling, or just exploring your options, Palmer Hampton Realty is here to guide you every step of the way. Located in the heart of Cynthiana, we know this community like no one else. From charming historic homes to modern dream properties, we'll find the perfect fit for you. Call Mary Todd Ashbrook today at 859-588-1520 and let's make your real estate dreams a reality. At Farm Credit Mid-America, we're here to make rural dreams a reality. Whether it's financing your farm, expanding your agribusiness, or building your country homes, we've been proudly supporting farmers and rural families for over a century. As a customer-owned cooperative, we don't just offer loans and insurance, we invest in your success. Call Michael Furnish at 859-254-2741 or visit fcma.com today. Farm Credit Mid-America, financing rural America's dreams.
We'll send 8, 9, and 1 to the plate. Russ Persinger, the defensive specialist Ian Hopkins, and then back to the top of the order in Boston Reynolds. Luke Gilliam still on the mound for the Indians. See, Russ Persinger's numbers on the year, 7 of 14. That's a .500 batting average. He also has a double so far this season. The live YouTube broadcast of this game is proudly brought to you by Kentucky Farm Bureau, Palmer Hampton Realty, and Farm Credit Mid-America. Visit youtube.com/WCYN Sports. Russ Persinger, I think this is his third start of the season.
Now batting number 9.
Will
Russ
hopefully
Persinger.
get things going by getting on base. Looks like the game down in Shirley Fields is over. The first pitch is taken outside and low for ball 1. Despite Persinger being a left-hander, the left fielder, Beckett Parker Noblet, way back as the next pitch bounces off of the press box, evening up the count at 1-1. Stepping back in the batter's box, the left-handed hitting Russ Persinger. And the pitch is going to be swung on and missed. Count goes 1-2 on the leadoff batter for the Brads here in the bottom of the second inning. Phillies on Tuesday will host Bishop Brossard here on the Hilltop. So the next pitch is down low and inside for ball 2. That game will be played here and can be heard on WCYN2, our app. Then on Friday, the girls will head down to Owensboro for the Class 2A state tournament. Of course, the Phillies, the defending Class 2A champions of softball, So the next pitch to Russ Persinger, swung on and missed for strike 3. They'll play Paducah Tillman at 2 o'clock on Friday to start things off. But back here, 1 up and 1 down for Ian Hopkins, the shortstop. Hopkins batting .286 on the season. Has a double and an RBI and a walk. First pitch to him is taken at the letters for strike 1. Gilliam gets the sign from Pietromonico, and the pitch is going to be taken at the knees for strike 2. Gilliam has retired 4 straight batters. And the 0-2 pitch is going to bounce up there for ball 1. So an exciting week ahead for the Phillies, who are now with that victory against Assumption and their earlier, well, wait a minute, I don't know that we won over Assumption, I'm just assuming. We were 23-1 going into the Assumption game. Next pitch is up high as the count goes even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Working quickly, the break-even pitch is swung on and missed for strike 3. So back-to-back strikeouts by Gilliam. Start things off in the bottom of the second, and it'll take us back to the top of the order in Boston Reynolds. Reynolds, the designated hitter, walked and scored his first time up, thus extending his stretch of getting on base to 8 in a row. He'll try to start a 2-out rally here. First pitch to him is going to be high and inside for ball 1. Wind blowing out as the next pitch is delivered. The opposite way, a bouncer picked up by the second baseman Hicks. His throw to first base to Cook in time to retire the side. So as we head now to the top of the third, your score remains Harrison County 3 and Madison Central 2. You're listening to Thoroughbred Baseball on WCYN Sports.
I believe in Kentucky.
I believe in Kentucky.
I believe in small town values.
And mom and dad and the things they handed down.
I believe some of the best people in the world are farmers.
I believe in insurance that protects families, homes, and cars. I believe in always finding a way to do what you love. I am Kentucky.
I am Kentucky.
I am Kentucky.
Dreaming of the perfect home? Whether you're buying, selling, or just exploring your options, Palmer Hampton Realty is here to guide you every step of the way. Located in the heart of Cynthiana, we know this community like no one else. From charming historic homes to modern dream properties, we'll find the perfect fit for you. Call Katie Bowman today at 859-595-4234 and let's make your real estate dreams a reality.
Alrighty, 2 innings in the books here on the Hilltop in the final game of this year's Harrison Memorial Hospital Classic. And right now, the Thoroughbreds on top, 3-2. Coming up for the Indians will be Beckett Parker Noblet, Sam Coleman, and Cannon Cook. That's 2, 3, and 4 in the batting order. Indians scored a couple of runs in the top of the first. Harrison County answered with 3 in the bottom. That's where we're at right now, as both pitchers have settled down a bit from those high-scoring first innings. Parker Noblet singled and scored one of those runs back in the first for his Indians. Coming home on the RBI base hit by Aiden Masters. Parker Noblet, a left-hander, steps into the batter's box. Over at third, Greenan on the infield grass. And the first pitch is a bouncer to first, gloved on a room service hop by Russ Persinger. Taps the bag for out number 1. They'll bring Sam Coleman to the plate.
Now batting number 7, Sam Coleman.
Coleman, a high-regarded player in the 11th region. Singled himself and scored back in the first. Getting a little looper down the right field line. Slade wheels and fires the pitch. A hit into left field. Chasing after it, Sean Vaughn reaches up but cannot make the grab. Heading on into second base and sliding in there safely will be Coleman. So Coleman, a 1-out double, puts the potential tying run at second base. On that long fly ball to left center field. They'll bring Cannon Cook back to the plate. He had a fly ball out to left field. That was that fantastic catch by Sean Vaughn back in the first inning when he chased down that long fly ball after a long run. Towing the rubber will be Slade. Down at second base, Coleman being held close by Jenkins, the second baseman. And the pitch is going to be a mile-high pop-up into shallow center field. Coming on in is going to be Lewis, who will make the grab for out number 2. So with 2 down, that runner still at second. Aiden Masters returns to the plate.
Now batting number 11, Aiden Masters.
Masters had a run-scoring single his first time up. Got all the way to third base, but eventually died there. Slade back on the pitching rubber. Gets the sign from his catcher, Brian Vaughn. Brian catching for the 3rd time this season, I believe it is. First pitch is cued foul into the Breads dugout. Just a slow roller, so nobody hurt. 0-1 the count on Masters. Masters, a senior, stands back in there. Most of these starters are seniors for Central. Look back at second, and the 0-1 is going to bounce up there. Nice stop by Brian Vaughn. Evens up the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. Overcast clouds have taken over the sun once again, as it has off and on all afternoon long, but still a pleasant day for baseball here on the hilltop, here on Easter weekend. A look back at second. The 1-1 to the plate is going to be outside and high. 2-1 the count to Masters, the third baseman. Was lucky enough to get my grass cut this past Thursday. In case it does rain, it's ready to take it. From the stretch, Slade. And the 2-1 to the plate is outside and low, ball 3. Well, first base is open, but in a game against a powerful offense like Madison Central, the last thing you want to do is put people on for free. Third baseman Green protecting the line. 3-1 pitch is in the dirt. Bounces past Brian Vaughn and down to second base. I make that down to third base on the wild pitch, we'll have to call it. Will go Coleman. So runners on the corners
Now
for the Indians with 2 outs. And Will Richardson at the plate. Richardson reached on an error his first time up. Slowly stepping into the batter's box is Richardson as Brian Vaughn calls out the sign to the infield. Over at first base, the runner Masters being held on by Sean Vaughn. First pitch is a bunt attempt. Brian Vaughn fires to third base, and they caught the runner off the bag. Coleman had gone about 10, 15 feet down the third base line and just froze when the ball was fielded by the pitcher, and it just was in no man's land. I mean, he was out by a mile for out number 3. No runs. There was 1 base hit, no errors, and it ends up there was only 1 man left on base. So good defensive play once again by the Thoroughbreds. As we head now to the bottom of the 3rd, your score remains Harrison County 3 and Madison Central 2. You're listening to Thoroughbred Baseball on WCYN Sports.
At Farm Credit Mid-America, we're here to make rural dreams a reality. Whether it's financing your farm, expanding your agribusiness, or building your country homes, we've been proudly supporting farmers and rural families for over a century. As a customer-owned cooperative, we don't just offer loans and insurance, we invest in your success. Call Michael Furnish at 859-254-2741 or visit fcma.com today. Farm Credit Mid-America, financing rural America's dreams.
Congratulations. You're officially an agent.
Sweet. I get one of those cool agent names, right? Like Viper or Shadow?
Well, Wayne, we're thinking you go by Wayne?
Oh, yeah. Wayne's fine too.
With Kentucky Farm Bureau Insurance, there's an agent in every county who's involved in the community, which means you'll know your agent by name. In this case, Wayne.
I got it. What about 006?
Kentucky Farm Bureau Insurance. Big on commitment.
Now batting number 14.
All righty, back here at the Hilltop. Another exceptional play by the Harrison County defense gets them out of trouble in the bottom half, or in the top half of the third. Blake Green starts things off here in the bottom half by squaring to bunt, bringing the bat back, and watching strike one go by. Green singled and later scored on a stolen base back in the first inning as the next pitch is down low for ball one. By getting on base in the first inning, Green extends his stretch of getting on base to 8 games in a row. Next pitch is going to be down low as the count goes to 2-1 on the leadoff batter for the Reds. Will be followed by Lewis and Brian Vaughn. Wind still swirling around. Next pitch is stroked foul down the left side. So the count goes even at 2-2. Well, they've been here for Farmers since 1916, and they're here for you now, Farm Credit Mid-America. Contact Michael Furnish at 859-254-2741 and learn more. The wind and the next pitch is tipped foul. Straight back by Green as the count remains at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Green on the year batting a not so bad .313 with 2 strikes on him. Next pitch is high and tight. That one got Green ducking out of the way of it as the count goes full at 3-2. Leadoff batter for the Reds here in the bottom of the third. They lead Central 3-2. The wind and the payoff pitch is outside ball 4. That is just the second walk issued in the ball game by Gilliam. So with 1 on and nobody out, Jay Sean Lewis returns to the plate. Jay Sean had an RBI single back in the first inning and later came around to score.
3, Jay Sean Lewis.
Lewis has now reached base in 9 consecutive games. Over at first base, Green being held on by the first baseman Cook. First pitch is delivered high to the plate for ball 1. Reds with a mixed mash of starters for this second game after winning the earlier game back at 10 o'clock this morning over Walton Verona 5-3. Here's a throw to first. They actually had Green leaning, but Gilliam not using his A move. It's probably about his C move, and that allowed Green to dive back in plenty of time. Checking the runner once again, Gilliam, as the pitch to the plate is going to be taken for a strike. Now down to second base and sliding in there safely will be Green as he steals his team-leading 18th base of the season. 1-1 the count on Lewis. Lewis has reached base in 8 straight games himself. Pitch to the plate is going to be outside and high for ball 2. Lewis on the season batting .471 with runners in scoring position. He's been up in this situation many, many times this year and has responded more than half of them. A deep breath taken by Gilliam, and the pitch is swung on and missed. He just unloaded a fastball that Lewis couldn't catch up with as the count goes even at 2-2. A runner on second, nobody out for Madison Central here in the bottom of the third. They trail Harrison County 3-2. Harrison County dugout trying to encourage their teammate as the next pitch is down low, gets past the catcher Pietro Monaco and down to third base on, we're going to give that a pass ball. We'll go Green, so a run just, potential run just 90 feet away as the count on Lewis goes full at 3-2. Brett Sr. stands back in. Infield still back. Payoff pitch is a bouncer in the hole between first and second. Coming home to score will be Green as Harrison County has taken a 4-2 lead over Central here in the third inning on the RBI base hit by Lewis, his second RBI single of the day. Give him an RBI.
Now batting number 32.
And bring Brian Vaughn to the plate. Vaughn, a strikeout victim his first time up. Gilliam has recorded 4 saves, or 4 Ks today. Over at first base, Cook holding Lewis on. Squaring to bunt is Brian Vaughn. Here goes Lewis. The throw down to second base won't be near in time, as that time Lewis stole the base on the pitcher Gilliam, who never looked him back, giving Lewis an opportunity to take a really big, good jump. Ball and no strikes? Question mark? Standing back in there once again is Brian Vaughn. And the pitch is a bouncer in the hole on the left side. Rounding third, Lewis. The throw from the left fielder, Parker Noblet, will not be in time. RBI base hit by Brian Vaughn. Plates another run for the Breds here in the third inning, as they have taken now a 5-2 lead over Madison Central. Boy, this team is so good about when one person gets a hit, another person gets a hit, and just the domino effect, one by one, goes by.
Number 22, Donovan Walker.
Donovan Walker at the plate now, as we'll have a courtesy runner at first base. Coming to the plate will be Walker. He reached on an error his first time up, that error driving in a run. Gilliam's first pitch is going to be swung on and missed. Ugh. Ugly swing there on an inside pitch for strike one. Reds up 5-2. Remember, earlier this week, Madison Central beat 11th ranked Lexington Catholic 5-2. Here's a throw to first, but Landon Custer dives back in plenty of time. Pencil him in here in the third. Vaughn. Waggling the bat over top his left shoulder is Walker. Now a throw to first, but Landon Custer dives back in plenty of time. Reds trying to add another run to their 5-run total, hopefully here in this at-bat. Next pitch to Walker is bounced in the dirt in front of Pietromonico, and on the wild pitch, Landon almost took the word of the shortstop for Madison Central, Sam Coleman, who evidently said you're going to have to go back to first, and Landon took like 2 steps back before realizing, hey, this guy's limed me. And now Terry Smith out there telling Landon, do not listen to the other team. They're the enemy. So 1 ball, 1 strike count on Walker, and coming to the mound to talk to his infield and battery is Coach Steve Roof. Coach Roof, very successful over his 20-plus years. Probably seen just about it all. But Landon Custard on second base, a 1-1 count on Walker, and nobody out yet. The Breds have plated 2 runs here in the bottom of the third to take this 5-2 advantage. This is a big deal. Harrison County taking it to the Indians of Madison Central. Forgot to see how they ranked in the 11th. 14th overall in the state. Pitch is a high chopper to the right side. This will at least get the runner over. The second baseman Hicks will fire to first to get the out. But down to third base will go Walker. So 1 out in the inning. And a potential another run just 90 feet away for Sean Vaughn, who had a fly ball out to left when he came up for 4. See, in the 11th region, Sayre is ranked number 2, so they'd have to be the number 1 team in the Fayette County area. Lexington Catholic was number 11. That'll probably drop. So the next pitch is down low for ball 1. And then Madison Central. So Madison Central, the 3rd-rated team in the always tough 11th region, following behind Sayre and LexCath. Infield draws in about halfway as the next pitch is down low. Count goes to 2 balls and no strikes. Sean Vaughn batting .286 with runners in scoring position this year. A base hit should score the runner. Landon Custer. Here's a shot into center field. Gloved by the center fielder, Spivey. Coming on home and scoring will be Landon Custard as the throw is up the line. So an RBI flyout by Sean Vaughn gives Harrison County its third run of the inning and a 6-2 lead over the Indians. Base is empty for
Now
Cooper
batting
Slade.
Number 16, Cooper Slade.
Slade struck out his first time up. Gilliam's pitch is stroked back up the middle by Slade. That's one of his best hits of the season. They're just sitting on that fastball by Gilliam now. That base hit up the middle, a hit in any league. They'll bring Russ Persinger to the plate. Russ a strikeout his first time up.
Number 9, Russ Persinger.
We'll have a runner at first as well. Holding him on will be Cook as the umpire makes his notation. Like a good neighbor, Joe Cochran with State Farm Insurance is there. Are you looking for a new quote? Give Joe a call at 859-234-3813. Joe always supports the Reds and the Phillies. Here goes the runner. That's Sawyer Craycraft and steals second base. So give him an SB. 1-0 the count to the batter, Russ Persinger. As the Reds keep piling it on. 3 in the first, 3 more here in the third. Gilliam gets the sign from Pietromonico, and the pitch is swung on and missed. Evens up the count at 1-1. Well, hopefully the track team did well. The softball and baseball teams are doing very well. Track team hosting the invitational track meet here on the hilltop over at the athletic complex. Next pitch is taken on the outside corner for a strike as the count goes to 1-2. A gapper will almost assuredly score Craycraft from second. Next pitch, an excuse me swing that time by Russ. Count remains 1-2. Number 9 will step back into the batter's box once again. Gilliam gets the sign from Pietromonico. Now looks back at second to Craycraft. Here's a little looper over the outstretched glove of the first baseman, Cook, for a base hit. Rounding third and heading for a home. Here comes the runner, Craycraft, who scores. RBI base hit by Russ Persinger. Plates the fourth run of the inning and puts Harrison County up now 7-2. Wow. They're just finding the right spots to hit the ball. The balls are not being hit hard at all, but they're finding places where there are no defenders. And that will be the end of the day for Mr. Gilliam. Coming into pitch will be Ethan Corder. So while Corder takes his warm-up pitches, your situation is this. We are in the bottom half of the third inning. Harrison County has already collected 4 runs in the frame to go up 7-2. There's a runner on first and 2 outs. You're listening to Thoroughbred Baseball on WCYN Sports.
Dreaming of the perfect home? Whether you're buying, selling, or just exploring your options, Palmer Hampton Realty is here to guide you every step of the way. Located in the heart of Cynthiana, we know this community like no one else. From charming historic homes to modern dream properties, we'll find the perfect fit for you. Call Doug Hampton today at 859-588-7120 and let's make your real estate dreams a reality. At Farm Credit Mid-America, we're here to make rural dreams a reality. Whether it's financing your farm, expanding your agribusiness, or building your country homes, we've been proudly supporting farmers and rural families for over a century. As a customer-owned cooperative, we don't just offer loans and insurance, we invest in your success. Call Michael Furnish at 859-254-2741 or visit fcma.com today. Farm Credit Mid-America, financing rural America's dreams.
Porter, a senior, making his 7th appearance, all in relief. He's thrown a total of 10 innings, giving up 8 hits and 5 walks while striking out 11. Given up 5 runs, 4 of which have been earned. Has a record of 1-0 and an ERA of 2.80. Continues his warm-ups. You girls ready? Do you have a big group to feed?
Yes.
Snappy Tomato Pizza is great for birthdays and parties. Just dial 235-7627. That's 235-SNAP. Thank you. Coming to the plate will be Ian Hopkins. Hopkins struck out when he came to bat before. He's the 8th batter of the inning here in the 3rd. Over at first base, Persinger, that's Russ Persinger, taking his lead, being held on by Cook. First pitch by Quarter is outside for ball 1. In his 2 2/3 innings of work, Luke Gilliam threw 76 pitches. That's a lot. Getting the sign from his catcher, Pietromonico, is Quarter. And now a throw to first, but diving back in time, Russ Persinger. Reds looking pretty good right now. Quarter trying to get out of the inning. Next pitch is going to be on the outside part of the plate for a strike, evening up the count at 1-1. Hopkins, an important batter for Quarter to get out, because after him, we'll go back to the top of the order. Next pitch is bounced up there. Nice stop by Pietromonico to keep the runner at first. However, the count goes to 2-1. This is a totally different Madison Central team than what we saw in the previous game when they beat a good Franklin County squad 16-1-3. Next pitch is a check swing by Hopkins. They'll appeal and they'll say, nope, he didn't go through, so the count will go to 3-1. Wheeling the bat around is number 24, Hopkins. He's awaiting the next pitch, and here it comes, and it's outside, ball 4. So the very first batter that Quarter faces, he walks, and we'll go back to the top in Boston Reynolds. Reynolds walked and scored in the first. He's also had a ground out to second base. Oddly enough, between the 3-run first and the 4-run third, the Reds were retired in order in the second. Reynolds, a walk and a run scored, as we said, extends his stretch of getting on base to 8 games in a row. First pitch to him here is in the dirt. Nice stop by Pietromonico to keep the ball in front of him, and both players on base at their respective second and first base places. 1-0 the count, though, on Reynolds. Leveling the bat. A look by Quarter back at second, and the pitch is going to be down low and outside for ball 2. So Quarter, just like his predecessor Gilliam, having troubles finding the strike zone, which is bad because the Reds are being aggressive today, and once a pitcher gets behind on the count, he tries to sneak a fastball by the batter, and we've been really laying on him. Long look in by Quarter, and finally time called by Reynolds. He's batting for Simon Jenkins, who began the game at second but has since moved. It is the bottom of the third. A base hit into the gap should score. The runner from second as the next pitch is outside for ball 3. 3 balls and no strikes the count on Reynolds. Look for Boston to be taking all the way on this next delivery to him from Quarter. Porter on the mound in relief of the starter, Luke Gilliam. He was knocked out after 2 2/3 innings. Next pitch is across the middle, and Reynolds was taking all the way. Not only were these 7 runs scored by Harrison County the fault of Gilliam, he's also responsible for the runners, or for the runner on second base, which is Russ Persinger. The 3-1 pitch is tipped foul. This count goes full at 3-2. Pietromonico was set up on the outside part of the plate, and Reynolds fouled the ball off towards the outside. Reynolds stands back in. Batting .455 with runners in scoring position this year is the Breads' usually second baseman, today DH. Now stepping off the back of the rubber again is Quarter. So in other words, Reynolds a good guy to have at the plate in this situation. Playing him very deep in left is Parker Noblet. Persinger sneaks away from second, as does Hopkins from first. The next pitch is outside, ball 4, and that will load the bases with Thoroughbreds. That'll bring Green back in. Well, he's saying that was not ball 4. Not sure what the issue is here. I had it as a walk. Now the field umpire and the home plate umpire getting together. Everybody in the park thought it was ball 4, except the home plate umpire. And they're going to say, well, they're going to say that Boston has to continue his plate appearance. It's easy to laugh about it when you're up 7-2. Would not have been so happy if this game was closer. We were behind by a run or two. So runners still on the corners, still 2 outs. And I guess a 3-2 count on Reynolds. Next pitch is way outside, and there's your outside pitch. And now the bases are loaded. For sure this time. That'll bring Green back to the plate. Blake has singled and scored that in the first inning. Walked and scored. That was in the third. Green on the year, 0 for 1 with the bases loaded. Chance to break this game wide open. Breads lead 7-2. And the pitch is swung on and tipped foul into the mid of Pietromonico for strike 1. Breads have batted around. Green, the 10th batter in the frame. Check of the runners by the new pitcher Quarter, and the pitch is a high chopper to the left side. This count goes to 0-2. Boy, a big base hit here into a gap somewhere could score all 3 runners. They each take their respective leads. And the 0-2 is an excuse me swing by Green, fouls the pitch off. Russ Persinger at third. Ian Hopkins is at second, with Reynolds over at first base. And Green at the plate. 4 runs already in the inning. Quarter, the second pitcher. The 0-2 is in the dirt. This count goes to 1-2. The Indians just simply having one of those days when it just seems nothing goes right. Harrison County taking full advantage of that. Giving the sign, Pietromonico, and the pitch is going to be on the inside corner for strike 3. But the Breds pick up 4 runs in the inning. They did it courtesy of 4 base hits. There were no errors, and the bases were left loaded. We're heading now to the top half of the 4th inning with your score, Harrison County 7 and Madison Central 2. You're listening to Thoroughbred Baseball on WCYN Sports.
Kentucky Farm Bureau agents wear a lot of hats. They're coaches, volunteers, church members, neighbors, someone who's there when you need them, especially when you need them most. That may be a lot of hats, but they're all the perfect fit. Kentucky Farm Bureau, big on commitment.
Dreaming of the perfect home? Whether you're buying, selling, or just exploring your options, Palmer Hampton Realty is here to guide you every step of the way. Located in the heart of Cynthiana, we know this community like no one else. From charming historic homes to modern dream properties, we'll find the perfect fit for you. Call Ronnie Brown today at 502-542-1984 and let's make your real estate dreams a reality.
Alrighty, back here at the Hilltop, continuing action in the 2025 Harrison Memorial Hospital Classic in our sixth and final game. The Thoroughbreds right now ahead of the 14th ranked Madison Central Indians 7-2. For the Indians here in the fourth, it'll be the bottom third of the order. Cannon Spivey, Landon Ward, and Braxton Hicks all taking on the starter for Harrison, Cooper Slade, who stays out there. First pitch is right at the letters, 4-1. Spivey had a fly ball out to center field in his only other plate appearance. Wheels the bat around as the sign being sent to the mound by Brian Vaughn. Now a pop-up on the first base side in foul territory. Bringing it in for the first out is Sean Vaughn. Landon Ward, the DH, to the plate now. Ward batting for the pitcher, which is right now Ethan Quarter. He grounded out to short when he came up before against Cooper Slade. The wind and the first pitch is going to be popped up foul and out of play to the right side. This count goes to 0-1. UK baseball team last night dropping an 8-2 decision to the second-ranked Tennessee Volunteers in the first game of that three-game set. UK Batcats now 6-10 in conference play. They'll just right now starting that second game of the series. Here's a bouncing ball left side in the hole on the left side of the infield for a base hit. So Ward gets on the single.
Now batting, number 25, Braxton Hicks.
Braxton Hicks, the second baseman, to the plate now. Had a fly ball out to center field. Sean Vaughn will hold the runner, Landon Ward, on at first base. Ward only a couple of steals this year. His team down by 5. It's unlikely he'll take off. First pitch to Hicks is going to be in the dirt for ball 1. On Tuesday, the Batcats will host the University of Louisville. Big rivalry game between the Cats and Cards on the baseball field. Kentucky Proud Park. Next pitch, here's a snap throw down to first, not in time, but the next pitch taken for ball 2. Left fielder Simon Jenkins playing way back, right at the edge of the bank. About a 2-step lead at first base by Ward. Now a throw over there, not in time. At El Paracutan, daily lunch specials and the always popular buffet are calling your name. Plan a visit soon to the Harrison Square and enjoy a meal at El Paracutan. Leveling the bat at the plate is Hicks, and the pitch is on the inside corner for a strike. Count goes to 2-1. Reds 20-2, Madison Central 14-6. The Indians ranked 14th, Harrison unranked. Next pitch is going to be on the outside part of the plate as the count goes even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Number 25 looks at his wristband to confirm the play or the pitch or the issue for his team. Here it comes, and it's going to be taken on the outside corner for strike 3. That is the first Joe Cochran at State Farm strikeout by Cooper Slade today. That'll send us back to the top of the order, and Pietromonico, who has grounded out twice, both to the mound. Pietromonico came in with a team-high 371 batting average. Fine catcher, a senior. Over at third base, Green right at the edge of the infield grass. First pitch to Pietromonico is a pop-up into right field. Calling for it will be the second baseman, Jenkins. Nope, not Jenkins, but rather for Harrison County, the third and final out. No runs, a hit, no errors. One man was left aboard. We're heading to the bottom of the fourth. Your score remains Harrison County 7 and Madison Central 2. You're listening to Thoroughbred Baseball on WCYN Sports.
Congratulations. You're officially an agent.
Sweet. I get one of those cool agent names, right? Like Viper or Shadow?
Well, Wayne, we're thinking you go by Wayne.
Oh, yeah. Wayne's fine, too.
With Kentucky Farm Bureau Insurance, there's an agent in every county who's involved in the community, which means you'll know your agent by name. In this case, Wayne.
I got it. What about 006?
Kentucky Farm Bureau Insurance. Big on commitment.
Dreaming of the perfect home? Whether you're buying, selling, or just exploring your options, Palmer Hampton Realty is here to guide you every step of the way. Located in the heart of Cynthiana, we know this community like no one else. From charming historic homes to modern dream properties, we'll find the perfect fit for you. Call Trish Jenkins today at 859-588-5590 and let's make your real estate dreams a reality.
All righty, back here at the Hilltop. Harrison County maintaining that 5-run lead here in the bottom of the fourth. It'll be Lewis, Brian Vaughn, and Walker coming to the plate against Ethan Corder, the reliever for the Madison Central Indians, who took over for the starter Luke Gilliam last inning. Lewis has been on base twice on RBI singles. He's also scored a couple of runs. Wrote myself a note, and I cannot tell what that is. Oh, deep left. Gotcha. One of his hits was one to deep left. Corder gets the sign from Tria. If I say it really fast, I can get it. First pitch taken for strike 1. Pietromonico, that's what it was. 0-1 the count on the Breads leadoff batter. Outfield playing him very deep, all the way around. Here's a fly ball into right center field. This could be a long ball, and it is! Home run for Harrison County's Jay Sean Lewis. Puts the Breads up 8-2. A shot that was almost for sure as soon as it left the bat. His team-leading 5th home run of the season. Starts things off in a good way for the good guys here in the 4th inning. It was one of the longer home runs we've had this year. Over the Cynthiana Lions Club sign out beyond the right center field fence. They'll send Brian Vaughn to the plate. Vaughn an RBI single in that 4-run third. He's also struck out.
Now batting,
the Breads continue to put distance between themselves and the Indians. First pitch is a swing and a miss. Yeah, he went through for strike 1. Getting the sign is Corder. And the pitch is outside for a ball. Well, we talked about how the Indians are going to Louisville on Monday to take on number 4 St. X. They better not play like this or the Tigers will blow them out of the water. Next pitch is taken down low as the count goes to 2-1. Looks like the softball games are over. I got a score here. So the next pitch is down low for ball 3. Let's see here. Assumption beat Harrison County 4-2 in softball. As the next pitch is outside for ball 4. Assumption, the number 2 team in the state. Harrison County, the number 6 team in the state. And the Assumption, these are the Rockets, beat Harrison County 4-2. So the Phillies will go into next week's action with a record of 23-2. See
now
what this other
batting,
message is all
number
about.
22, Donovan Walker.
Standing in there, Walker over at first base. Runner being held on by Cook. And now a throw over, but diving back into the bag in plenty of time is Landon Custard. And third and fourth. Walker reached on an error back in the first. He's also had a grounder to second. Quarter takes a look at the runner, and the pitch is just outside. 1-0 the count. Reds with 3 in the first, 4 in the third, and a single run here in the fourth on the solo home run by Lewis. As we talked about the pitching and defense of Harrison County, today the offense coming to life. Getting hit after hit after hit. Here's a throw to first, not in time. For over 70 years, Weber's Sausage has delivered the best Kentucky flavor to your breakfast table. From the first sizzle to the last bite, it's a taste you can trust. Find them in your favorite meat department. Quarter steps off the back of the rubber to recollect himself. Reds in action tonight in Baltimore. A game that will start, actually has already started and is 2/3 of the way through. They start at 4. Hunter Green going up against Brandon Young of the Orioles. At Camden Yards, here's a pitch that's taken for a strike. Sliding in safely for the steal will be Landon Custard. This count goes even at 1-1. So another runner in scoring position for the Thoroughbreds with Walker at the plate. Walker batting .421 with runners in scoring position. We're getting the right people up at the right time. That's what's happening. Next pitch is bounced foul at the plate. This count goes to 1-2. That game this afternoon between the Reds and the Orioles, the second of 3. They'll finish up tomorrow at Camden Yards. Brandon Young getting his first start ever for the Orioles, while Hunter Green, who's had a great first part of the season, pitching for the Reds, 2-1 with a 0.98 ERA going into that game. Walker steps back into the batter's box as Custard takes his lead down at second. I look back at him at quarter, and the pitch is going to be low. Count goes 2 balls and 2 strikes. We're in the bottom half of the 4th inning. Harrison County leading Madison Central 8-2 in case you're just joining us. The number 14 Indians not looking very number 14-ish so far. Next pitch in the dirt, and that will load up the count at 3 balls and 2 strikes. Reds dugout is active today as it's been all season long. Good to see. Also our best home crowd so far this season. Watching the Reds beat up on Madison Central. Next pitch is going to be outside ball 4. So back-to-back walks follow the home run by Lewis, and will bring Sean Vaughn to the plate, and we may have another pitching change. It's Coach Roof going to the mound.
Now batting,
trying to find some
15,
answers.
Sean Vaughn.
That'll be it. And coming to the pitching rubber will be Grant Beck. So while Grant Beck takes his warm-up tosses, your situation is this. We are in the bottom half of the 4th inning. Harrison County leads 8-2. They've got runners on first and second and nobody out. You're listening to Thoroughbred Baseball on WCYN Sports.
At Farm Credit Mid-America, we're here to make rural dreams a reality. Whether it's financing your farm, expanding your agribusiness, or building your country homes, we've been proudly supporting farmers and rural families for over a century. As a customer-owned cooperative, we don't just offer loans and insurance, we invest in your success. Call Michael Furnish at 859-254-2741 or visit fcma.com today. Farm Credit Mid-America, financing rural America's dreams.
Kentucky Farm Bureau agents wear a lot of hats. They're coaches, volunteers, church members, neighbors, someone who's there when you need them, especially when you need them most. That may be a lot of hats, but they're all the perfect fit. Kentucky Farm Bureau, big on commitment.
No. All righty, back here at the Hilltop, the new pitchers we said, Grant Beck, making his 5th appearance, all in relief. He's thrown 7 innings, giving up 10 hits and 3 walks while striking out 7. Giving up 5 runs, all have been earned, and has an ERA of 5.00. Well, I'm sure along with playing St. X on Monday, they also play LCA on Tuesday, and a full week of games slated. Madison Central doesn't want to waste all its pitching on a game that they're down by 6 by. Reds threatening with back-to-back walks to Brian Vaughn and Donovan Walker. Sean Vaughn waiting for Grant Beck to get done with his warm-up pitches. Sean has had a fly ball out to left field. He's also had a sacrifice fly.
Sean Vaughn.
New balls delivered to the home plate umpire. Sean began the game in left. He's since moved over to first base defensively. Down at second base, Landon Custer takes his lead, as does Walker at first. Beck takes a look at both of them, left-handed pitcher. Here's a bunt attempt that's fouled back off the press box for strike 1. Little pieces of wood flying off of the press box on that foul ball right to our left. Wheeling the bat around is the junior. So he awaits the next pitch. Beck wheels and fires, squaring to bunt, and up almost a great bunt by Sean Vaughn, but it does go foul for strike 2. Cynthia Hardee's wants you to visit them for breakfast, lunch, or dinner on US 27 South. They've got the best burgers in town. That's at Hardee's in Cynthiana. A big, black, nasty-looking cloud moving in. Hopefully it'll pass us by. Next pitch is swung on and missed. Gets past the catcher, Pietromonico, and everybody's going to be safe. But there was less than 2 outs. So just merely a strikeout. So runners on first and second and 1 out for Cooper Slade. Slade singled and scored in the 3rd. He's also struck out. Those 2 runners did move up on the pass ball. So Custard at 3rd and Walker at 2nd. And the pitch is a little looper over the second baseman's head and into right field. Coming home to score, Landon Custard, and he'll cross the plate to make the score now 9-2. Over to third base went Walker on that little looper. Wasn't hit hard, but it was right over the second baseman's head.
Now
Give
batting,
Slade the
number 9,
RBI.
Russ Persinger.
Now Sawyer Craycraft coming in to run for Slade. At the plate, Russ Persinger. Russ had an RBI base hit his last time up. He's also struck out. Reds with at least 2 runs in 3 of the 4 innings. First pitch is going to come in over the inside corner for strike 1 to Russ Persinger. Pietromonico sends a sign to the rest of the infield. Over at first base, Cook holding the runner Craycraft on. Here he goes. The pitch is going to be at the knees for a strike, and there will not be a throw down to second. So a steal by Craycraft, his second stolen base of the game, in fact. So runners on second and third for Russ. And the pitch is going to be fouled off the press box. The count remains 0-2. Let's see here. Number 9 stands in. Infield draws in for the Indians. They trail 9-2. And the pitch is stroked foul over the third base dugout as that time Russ Persinger reached out to foul off that pitch. Couple of two-strike foul balls by Russ. Awaits the 0-2 once again from the third pitcher, Beck, on the mound. Here it comes. It's going to be on just a bit outside. 1-2 the count. Now to number 9. Walker takes his lead from third. Craycraft does the same at second. And the 1-2 is fouled off again. So Russ Persinger battling out there, fouling off 3 two-strike pitches. He had not fouled off a two-strike pitch this season up until today. Next delivery is a bouncer to the right side, gloved by Cook. He'll come home, and sliding past Pietromonico and scoring will be Walker. I don't know about that decision by Cook. He was about 2 feet away from the first base bag. All he had to do was go the safe way and get the out, but instead tried to cut off the running home, and he was unsuccessful on the fielder's choice as Harrison County has now gone up 10-2. Also on the play over to third base will go Sawyer Craycraft. RBI fielder's choice. Hopkins has walked and struck out. Over at first base, Russ Persinger being held on by Cook. His first pitch is taken at the knees for strike 1. Reds have done pretty well for themselves with 3 in the first, 4 in the third, and 3 more here in the fourth. Here's a snap throw to first, but not in time. Craycraft being suggested by Coach Smith, if the next time they throw to first like that, they should have Craycraft go on home. Next pitch is going to be at the knees for a strike as the count runs 0-2 to the 8th grader Hopkins. Hopkins 1 for 3 with a couple of walks with runners in scoring position this season. And the 0-2 is taken outside for a ball. A ball and 2 strikes the count. Still just 1 out in the inning. Reds threatening to score a couple of more here. Getting the sign from his catcher Pietromonico is Cook, and now a pop fly into right field. Grabbing it is the right fielder Richardson. Tagging at third and coming on home will be Craycraft. Sacrifice fly RBI by Hopkins puts Harrison County up now 11-2. For Hopkins, find him here. That is his
now batting number 7,
second RBI of the
Boston
season.
Reynolds.
Back to the top of the order now in Boston Reynolds, the 8th batter in the inning. He's walked twice, scored once. Over at first base, Cook will continue to hold Persinger on. Now a throw over there is not in time. The live YouTube broadcast of this game is proudly brought to you by Kentucky Farm Bureau, Palmer Hampton Realty, and Farm Credit Mid-America. Visit youtube.com/WCYN Sports. Good sized lead at first base by Russ Persinger. And now another throw over there is once again not in time. Well, they've been here for Farmers since 1916, and they're here for you now, Farm Credit Mid-America. Contact Michael Furnish at 859-254-2741 and learn more. Next pitch to Reynolds is taken for a strike. That was right down the middle. 0-1 the count to the thoroughbred designated hitter. Look over to first base by Cook, and the pitch is fouled off as the count goes to 0-2. Like a good neighbor, Joe Cochran with State Farm Insurance is there. Are you looking for a new quote? Give Joe a call at 859-234-3813. Joe always supports the Breds and the Phillies. Breds up 11-2 here in the bottom of the fourth. Here's a throw to first once again. Right now, the Indians more concerned with making sure they don't get behind by 10 runs. Leveling the bat at the plate is Reynolds. And the pitch is going to be outside. 1-2 the count to the Breds. Designated hitter batting for Jenkins, who's moved around some. His last was reported to be in left field. Here's a throw to first. Once again, not in time. Girls ready? Do you have a big group to feed?
Yes!
Snappy Tomato Pizza is great for birthdays and parties. Just dial 235-7627. That's 235.
Snap!
Thank you. Pitch to the plate is fouled off and out of play behind us. As Reynolds fouling off 2 strike pitches. Reynolds with a runner on first base at the plate. And the pitch is going to be high for ball 2. Pietromonico body language showing a little frustration there. He's had a long night in behind the dish. Harrison County trying to sweep their 3 games in this tournament. They won last night 8-6 over Franklin County, then came back this morning and beat Walton Verona 5-3. Choking up on the bat handle an inch is Reynolds. And the break-even pitch is slammed into right center field, and this ball's going to go all the way to the fence. Coming on over to third base will be Russ Persinger. They're going to send him home. Here comes the player, here comes the throw, and he is out of there. Good job by Madison Central to cut the runoff at the plate for out number 3. But the Breds do pick up 4 runs in the inning. It came courtesy of just 3 base hits. The big hit, the home run by Jay Sean Lewis. There were no errors, and as it ends up, just 1 man was left on base. We're heading to the top half of the 5th inning with your score. Harrison County 11 and Madison Central 2. You're listening to Thoroughbred Baseball on WCYN Sports.
I believe in Kentucky. I believe in Kentucky.
I believe in small town values.
And Mom and Dad and the things they handed down.
I believe some of the best people in the world are farmers.
I believe in insurance that protects families, homes, and cars. I believe in always finding a way to do what you love. I am Kentucky.
I am Kentucky.
I am Kentucky.
Dreaming of the perfect home? Whether you're buying, selling, or just exploring your options, Palmer Hampton Realty is here to guide you every step of the way. Located in the heart of Cynthiana, we know this community like no one else. From charming historic homes to modern dream properties, we'll find the perfect fit for you. Call Katie Bowman today at 859-595-4234 and let's make your real estate dreams a reality.
Alrighty, here as 4 innings are in the books. Harrison County up 11-2. Your numbers to the first 4 show Madison Central with 2 runs On 5 base hits, they have committed 1 error and left 4 runners stranded. Meanwhile, for the Thoroughbreds, I'll make that, now I didn't add it all together, 11
now
runs.
Batting number
on
17, Beckett Parker
2,
Noblet.
3, 4, 5, 4, 10 hits. So 11 runs on 10 hits, 1 error. They've left 5 runners stranded. At the plate, Beckett Parker Noblet leading things off in the 5th. Wind, and the first delivery is going to be on the outside corner for strike 1. Parker Noblet singled and scored back in the 1st. Has since grounded out to the first baseman. Central led early in the game 2-0. The couple of runs in the top of the 1st, Harrison County answered with 3 of their own in the bottom and have not looked back. The next pitch is fouled out of play. Count goes to 0-2. Wind, and the next pitch is going to be very high. This count goes to 1-2. At the plate, the left-handed batting Parker Noblet sees the next pitch sail high as the count evens up at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Brian Vaughn behind the plate in today's 2nd game. As the next pitch is delivered, a slap line drive into the waiting glove of the shortstop Ian Hopkins. Ian's made 2 or 3 nice defensive plays today. That'll be the first out of the inning.
Now batting number 7, Sam Coleman.
Sam Coleman to the plate now. He owns 2 of the 5 hits that have been produced by Central today. A single, scoring a run in the 1st. He also doubled in the 3rd. First pitch taken for strike 1. Coleman, one of the best players in the 11th region from what I hear. Next pitch is taken up high as the count goes even at 1-1. 1 out, nobody on for the Indians. They trail 11-2 here in the top of the 5th. The wind by Slade, and the next pitch is going to be high for ball 2. Pitch count wise, that was the 58th pitch thrown by Slade, so he should be right in his wheelhouse. The wind, and the next pitch is going to stay high. 3 balls and a strike, the count to Coleman. Cook and Masters to follow, possibly in this inning. There is 1 out. So, bumblebee that keeps flying past the window. Next pitch will be fouled off and out of play down on Shirley Field to load up the count at 3-2. At El Paracutan, daily lunch specials and the always popular buffet are calling your name. Plan a visit soon to the Harrison Square and enjoy a meal at El Paracutan. The wind, and the payoff is going to be high and inside for ball 4. That is only the 2nd walk issued by Slade today.
Now batting number 36, Cannon Cook.
So a runner on first and 1 out for Cannon Cook, who's had fly ball outs to left and center field. Sean Vaughn, the first baseman, will hold the runner Coleman on. Cook scares me a little bit. Big strapping kid, looks like he could hit it over the scoreboard. Hopefully he will not. First pitch is going to be outside and high for ball 1. Brett's back in action as we talked about before on Monday when Mason County will be coming to town. The reigning regional champions. That's a 5:30 start. Next pitch is going to be high once again as the count goes to 2-0. Let's see here. For Slade, this is, his longest stint of the season was 5 1/3. So we're closing in on that. A throw to first, not in time. That 5 1/3 stint was against Pine Forest. No, against Breathitt County last week. Another throw to first, not in time again. Anyway, what I'm getting at is that Slade should have plenty of gas in the tank. Next pitch is going to be outside once again as the count goes to 3-0 on Cook. Well, with his team down by 9, look for Cook to be taking all the way on this next delivery. About a 3-4 step lead at first base by Coleman. And the pitch to Cook is on the outside corner for strike one. And as we suspected, Cook was taking all the way. Coleman with 10 steals this year. That's second most on the team. And the 3-1 is going to be down low, ball 4. So back-to-back walks with 1 out here in the 5th inning. Maybe getting the comeback juices stirring for the Indians.
Now
As coming to the plate will be Aiden Masters.
Aiden Masters.
Masters had an RBI single back in the first. He's also walked. So been on base a couple times. Cooper Slade coming in to today's game with a team leading 5 victories. Looking for number 6. Here's a shot back up the middle, though, for a base hit. It'll be station to station for all the runners as they had to wait to make sure that Lewis didn't come up with a catch. But the bases are loaded with Indians here in the top of the 5th inning for Will Richardson. Richardson has reached on an error. He's also grounded into an inning-ending fielder's choice. Coming in on the infield grass at third is Green. And the pitch is batted in the hole between first and second. 1 run scores, and that'll be it. But that base hit brings the Indians back to within 8 at 11-3.
Number 3, Cannon Spivey.
They'll bring Cannon Spivey back to the plate. Spivey has had a fly ball out to center field and a pop up to first. The 7th man in the batting order for Madison Central. First pitch to him is at the letters for strike 1. And now going up about halfway on the third base line is Roof, talking through Spivey to the home plate umpire, who doesn't think much of his ball strike calls. So he gets what he wanted to say off his chest, and we'll get back to baseball. Standing in there, Spivey. Runners take their leads at third, second, and first. A long ball here would make things a lot more interesting. Next pitch is a line drive off the glove of Green and into left field. 1 more run scores as it's now 11-4.
Now batting, number 15, Landon Ward.
Have to give that one an error. Got to catch those. So bases are still loaded. We'll give him an RBI just to make him feel good. Bases loaded, still just 1 out for Landon Ward, the designated hitter. He's grounded out to short and singled in the hole on the left side of the infield. First pitch is swung on and missed for strike 1. So those thoughts of ending this game early, a little bit premature. Still in the 5th inning. Next pitch is slapped into right field. Waiting on it, Walker makes the grab. Tagging at third base is Masters. Here comes the throw. It's up the line, and on the sacrifice fly by Ward, another run crosses the plate for Madison Central to make the score now 11-5.
Now batting, number 25, Braxton Hicks.
I'll send Braxton Hicks to the plate. Braxton Hicks has had a fly ball out to center field. He's also struck out. Right now he has runners on first and second with 2 out. Big batter for Slade to try to get out here. Here's a shot to left field. This could be trouble, but nope, there to make the grab will be Simon Jenkins, I believe, for out number 3. But 3 more runs cross the plate for the Indians. They did it with the help of 2 base hits. There was 1 error and 2 left. We're heading now to the bottom of the 5th. Your score now, Harrison County 11 and Madison Central 5. You're listening to Thoroughbred Baseball on WCYN Sports.
At Farm Credit Mid-America, we're here to make rural dreams a reality. Whether it's financing your farm, expanding your agribusiness, or building your country homes, we've been proudly supporting farmers and rural families for over a century. As a customer-owned cooperative, we don't just offer loans and insurance, we invest in your success. Call Michael Furnish at 859-254-2741 or visit fcma.com today. Farm Credit Mid-America.
Congratulations, you're officially an agent.
Sweet. I get one of those cool agent names, right? Like Viper or Shadow?
Well, Wayne, we're thinking you go by Wayne?
Oh, yeah, Wayne's fine too.
With Kentucky Farm Bureau Insurance, there's an agent in every county who's involved in the community, which means you'll know your agent by name. In this case, Wayne.
I got it. What about 006?
Kentucky Farm Bureau Insurance. Big on commitment.
Harrison County leading by a score of 11-5 now after the Indians score 3 in the top half of the frame. It'll be the numbers 2, 3, and 4 batters for Harrison County. Green, Lewis, and then Brian Vaughn against the pitching of Grant Beck, the third pitcher of the day for the Indians. He follows Luke Gilliam, who started, taken over by Ethan Corder, who then was replaced by Grant Beck. For over 70 years, Weber's Sausage has delivered the best Kentucky flavor to your breakfast table. From the first sizzle to the last bite, it's a taste you can trust. Find them in your favorite meat department. Green at the plate, singled and scored back in the first, walked and scored in the third. He's also been a strikeout victim.
Now batting, number 14, Blake Green.
So Green batting for the 4th time against the 4th pitcher he's seen. Becca lefty. First pitch is down low for ball 1. Madison Central faithful hanging in there. Several of them making their way from Richmond. Here's a shot to right field. Going back Richardson, and this ball is going to be off the fence on a hop. Heading on into second base, standing with the leadoff double is Blake Green. All right, Blake. For Green, his 5th double of the season. And it couldn't have come at a better time. So with a runner in scoring position and nobody out, Jay Sean Lewis returns to the plate. Jay Sean homered to left center his last time up. He's also singled twice and scored twice. First pitch is taken on the inside part of the plate for strike 1. 3 runs scored and 3 RBIs also for Lewis. He's had a very productive day. Look back at second base by Beck. And the pitch is sliced foul and out of play to the left side. This count goes to 0-2. Well, the overcast skies making it such that turning the lights on might not be a bad idea. From the stretch, Beck takes a look back at second base, and the pitch is way outside. Snagged by a new catcher in the ball game. That's not Pia Tremenico anymore. 1-2 the count to Lewis. Down at second base, Green takes his lead. A base hit into the gap would score him. Reds up 11-5, but threatening here in the bottom of the 5th inning. And now time called by Lewis as he was suspecting that the pitcher was taking too much time on the mound. All 3 outfield positions giving the respect that Lewis has earned, playing way back. And the pitch is going to bounce away from the catcher and on down to third base on the wild pitch will go Green. So another run for the Reds now just 90 feet away. If Lewis can get bat on ball, and he has several times this year, as we mentioned before, batting .471 with runners in scoring position. Infield in. Next pitch is slammed into center field, and there to catch it, the center fielder Spivey, tagging at third and racing home will be Green. So an important insurance run scored by the Thoroughbreds there on the sac fly by Jay Sean, which drives in Green to make the score 12-5.
Now batting, number 32, Brian Vaughn.
Brian Vaughn at the plate now. He has struck out, had an RBI single in which he scored a run, and walked and scored a run back in the fourth. Stands in there now against Beck, who he's looking at for the first time. First pitch is a little bit high for ball one. This game, hours old. So next pitch is inside once again. This count goes to 2 balls and no strikes. Reds have scored in every inning except the second. Here's a shot to center field. Going back Spivey. He's going to have room and makes the grab for out number 2. So with 2 down, Donovan Walker returns to the plate. Walker has reached on an error, grounded out to second. He's also walked and scored. The top 5 positions in the batting order have scored 10 of our 12 runs this game, which is the way it should be. First pitch is going to bounce past the catcher for ball one. I believe that might be Flynn. The reason I believe that is because it looks like a number 8. Next pitch is taken inside and low for ball 2. Walker wheels the bat around, and Beck's next pitch is sent high and deep, but foul to the right side. Chasing after it, the right fielder Richardson, but he soon runs out of room as the count goes to 2 balls and a strike. Walker takes a couple of practice swings to allow Richardson to get back in position in right field. And now the pitch is going to be on the inside part of the plate for a strike, evening up the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2 outs in the inning. A run coming in on the double and sacrifice fly. Here's a shot the opposite way. Left fielder Parker Noblet at the base of the bank brings it in for out number 3. But the Breds do score an important insurance run on 1 hit. There were no errors and nobody left. We're heading to the top of the 6th with your score. Harrison County 12 and Madison Central 5. You're listening to Thoroughbred Baseball on WCYN Sports.
Dreaming of the perfect home? Whether you're buying, selling, or just exploring your options, Palmer Hampton Realty is here to guide you every step of the way. Located in the heart of Cynthiana, we know this community like no one else. From charming historic homes to modern dream properties, we'll find the perfect fit for you. Call Doug Hampton today at 859-588-7120 and let's make your real estate dreams a reality. At Farm Credit Mid-America, we're here to make rural dreams a reality. Whether it's financing your farm, expanding your agribusiness, or building your country homes, we've been proudly supporting farmers and rural families for over a century. As a customer-owned cooperative, we don't just offer loans and insurance, we invest in your success. Call Michael Furnish at 859-254-2741 or visit fcma.com today. Farm Credit Mid-America, financing rural America's dreams.
Go Reds and go Breds.
Alrighty, back here at the Hilltop. Your numbers through the first 5 innings show Madison Central 5 runs on 7 hits. 5 innings show Madison Central 5 runs on 7 hits. They've committed 1 error. And left 6 runners stranded. Meanwhile, the Thoroughbreds 12 runs on 10 hits, 2 errors. They've surrendered 5 people on base. Here in the 6th inning, it'll be the top of the order coming up for Madison Central, but they made some defensive changes, so we may have some changes as well, as Carson Sizemore will bat. So Carson Sizemore.
Now batting, number 6, Carson Sizemore.
Pencil him here in the 6th. We'll look at his numbers after this first pitch. He slams it to left center field, and this ball is going to be gone. Leadoff home run by Carson Sizemore, the freshman, his first extra base hit of his short career. Gets back that run that Harrison County scored in the bottom half of the 5th inning and brings the deficit for the Indians back to within